Okay, so Loring Weisenberger wrote an article with 7 film technologies disrupting the entertainment industry, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go through some of these, and
We're going to go through 7 of them.
We'll react to them. We'll give our thoughts. We'll say, is this going to really hit strong, or is this going to be just the only people with all the money? You know what I mean? That kind of thoughts. So algorithmic video editing is our first one.
Barely say that. Even can't. Say that 5 times.
Algorithmic.
Never mind.
I can do it.
Okay, read this name.
What name?
Oh,
At its core, algorithmic editing simply refers to the process of editing according to a set of well-defined rules. It's like cutting your movie with math, not entirely unlike the practice of famously pursued by...
It's
Sergey Eisenstein.
Wait,
Eisenstein.
Eisenstein.
Oh, right here.
Sergey, though, right? It's Sergey.
Sergey Eisenstein.
Okay. So basically, algorithmic video editing has been around. We
cut
saw
and splice.
It's sort of, but what we saw is it's becoming more elaborate. So your phone can do it. Your phone can take videos and pictures and make a little memory reel automatically, right? And it sends it to you.
Yeah.
Remember Apple, the iPad came out, and you had iMovie.
Yeah.
And you can put together, like it automatically edits together a horror trailer from footage that you recorded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My
so
phone...
that's a simple example of this. But
My
this
Google,
is becoming,
my Google Photos will often send me, it's like, do you remember this memory?
Right.
And it'll send me like a collage of photos from
with
a certain
video
time.
and everything, you know?
It makes it for me.
But the thing is, that's built on a template. So what it does is it takes your video and pastes it in the template. Algorithmic video editing is basically saying like math, and it's doing the exact same thing. It's taking a style from certain movies like Jurassic Park or The Godfather or Transformers or Fast and Furious, and it's saying like, we take this footage, right, and we insert it in this style format.
Yeah.
So there's still a lack of creativity there, but it is based on a complex math equation from a style that AI is able to look at, essentially.
Okay.
Have you, I don't know if you guys have, played with the Chat GPT.
No.
I have a lot.
I haven't.
I've put in a couple scenarios to see if it would do something like this, where it takes a certain template and it writes accordingly. So I put in, I don't know, a dialogue scene between Ellen Ripley from Alien and Rambo.
Right.
From Rambo.
Right.
And it writes their dialogue according to how they would speak in the movie.
Okay.
So Ellen Ripley's talking about alien stuff. It's like, oh, be aware, there's aliens. I fought these, so we have to be careful. And Rambo's talking about Rambo stuff. I've been in wars. I've done this kind of guerrilla warfare before. So and so they're kind of staying in their own lane with a little bit of crossover.
Right. It's like if two characters are having a conversation.
I've put them into this scenario.
Yeah.
So the algorithm is using their knowledge to write that character, which is really interesting.
However, I'm skeptical. I'm not skeptical of the ability of like math equation editing almost, you know what I mean? Or AI editing. What I really am interested in is, does it ever present real creativity? Because once it tries creativity, it becomes nonsense. At this point, if AI tries creativity, like unique stuff, it's either inaccurate or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it loses context.
Well, this is video editing.
Video editing, and that's a problem.
Editing can be extremely creative.
Oh, it's beyond creative.
Yeah.
Editing is an unlimited amount of creativity, which is why I love it. It's fun.
But we have the internet has produced so many videos with so much creative editing.
Yeah.
I think if your algorithm is good enough, it can copy exactly what it needs to, pick and choose what it wants from, and simulate creativity.
But it also has to keep context. So how do you take an editor and say, I want you to make a video, Peter McKinnon style. This is my talking head and this is my B-roll. Does the B-roll fit well with what the talking head is talking about? You know what I mean?
True.
So it has to hold context, which is really difficult to do. That's why I said if it tries creativity or even follows a format, sometimes you have to deviate in the edit from your normal format to keep context. So I'm saying this might not work, and it's going to change. It'll benefit. It'll help. Like in the same way that templates for motion graphics helps, this will help, but it's not going to replace editing because it ultimately can't. It's not good enough, and I don't know that it ever will, because that's some serious code for literally hundreds of billions of scenarios. They have to have a response. But
didn't you say that, we're even seeing in editing programs that it will cut stuff for you. It'll cut things together. It'll look for those pauses. It'll look for those things and cut them. We're getting better.
We are. It like if you give it a full video, it finds where your cuts are and isolates those cuts. Also, Premiere has AI options like match cutting. So it basically or morph cuts. So basically like in between two hard cuts, it can transform your video to make it look like there was no cut there. You know what I mean? As well as music editing, which basically says, I need this song to be 30 seconds, and you just shrink it down to wherever it needs to be, and then it automatically analyzes the music and finds where to make it sound seamless.
Or like matchup cutting. Yeah. I have noticed this
Warp Stabilizer, all of these are AI tools.
Yeah, in a long time ago, they had this where like if you're trying to match up audio with video, they can figure out, like you just kind of get it in the area and then it'll line it up.
I mean, it says this last sentence, in other words, elements of algorithmic editing are already standard in post-production.
Exactly, especially Premiere Pro. Every single year, Premiere Pro is adding more and more AI tools inside of their program to help you. So I'm just saying, I don't think this is going to replace editors. I just think it's going to really benefit the same way that ChatGPT can write a essay for college students so they can cheat, but they just have to make sure that everything's correct in there. It's almost like a cheat code for editors. It's going to seriously help them, but ultimately, an editor who knows context and creativity has to still make sure context and creativity
Tools
is there.
like this, it's like let the editor be creative and let the AI find patterns and
assist you in the process.
Substitute patterns. They do all the pattern stuff for you so that you don't have to waste time doing it.
Exactly.
And then you do the creative stuff.